Is it too early to tell y'all what I was thinking about yesterday? Then on this note,
Go ahead. Here we go.
Eh, eh,
We get ready to dump you,
I
but
thought I really thought about this for about an hour yesterday.
okay. All right, let's hear it.
2028, man. I'm thinking about running for president of the United States. If I start right now today,
Notty,
if I start my,
you got my support, man.
because
You
guess
got
what
my
I'm gonna do?
support.
I was thinking about a reparations plan. I was thinking about a re-education plan, getting teachers raises. Like
Right.
I really was formulating my whole campaign. And I said, if I start today, in 4 years, will I be ready to be president of the United States of America?
Like I just said, Donald Trump with no experience was president of the United States of America. He's got a good chance of winning again. Hell no. Why not?
Right.
I believe in you. I trust you. I believe in you way more than I do Trump. So
I
why
figure
would I
in
vote
2
for you,
years-
Notty?
Y'all already know what time it is. Same soup, just reheated. Another day for the truth. Right here on the Know It All. On the No Show, excuse me, with Arle and Notty. And as you can see, Arle is absent today. Unfortunately, she lost her grandmother yesterday morning. So Arle's been going through a lot, and we need to keep her in our prayers, in our thoughts, and condolences go out to the Wilson family. You know, after this show, after the stool shows, I often talk to Arlie. We sometimes talk 30 minutes to an hour after the shows. That's how we even got to the point of doing the podcast together, because we used to just talk after each show. We were the last ones to leave the room. And a lot of times in these conversations, she mentioned her grandmother, like she brought her up. And so with the conversations that we've had, it's almost like I have a good sense of who her grandmother was and who what she represented for the family. You talking about somebody who was well in their 90s, who came up in Mississippi through a lot of tough times and was resilient to even make it to this far. I mean, she lived a beautiful life. You know, it is a mourning, but it's also a celebration. To my knowledge, based on the conversations, like I said, Arlie talked about her grandmother a lot to me, you know, after the shows. And this was a lady who not only was resilient, but full of joy, brought light into everybody's life, was the matriarch of the family, somebody who held the family together. So she's going to be dearly missed. And I just hope that Arlie spends his time to be with the family and grieve and understand that her grandmother was a beautiful person and lived a great life. And hopefully they get an opportunity to also celebrate the life of Miss Wilson. So my condolences go out to Arlie and her family. Also this weekend, I lost one of my best clients who was very close to me. like a family member almost. Um, I like to send my condolences and my prayers out to the Leonard and Mitchell family. This was an unexpected loss. Somebody who I had just spoke to was in great spirits. We used to joke about a lot of different things, talk about sports, amongst other things. Him and his wife, they're just beautiful people, just great people. So, man, it's kind of been a difficult past 2 or 3 days. It's just a reflection and a reminder that, especially as we get older and you have older people in your family or older friends, siblings, just don't take their life for granted. You know, I mean, we really gotta let all the petty stuff go. If there any pettiness that you're not talking to this person or that person because of something small, something minuscule, just let it go. And we gotta love each other. I mean, we gotta band together, especially family, because you never know when somebody's time gonna be called, and you don't get the opportunity to just tell them that you love them, to get them their flowers while they're here. So I just want to use this opportunity to let Arlie know that you're definitely in my thoughts and prayers, and gonna be thinking about you and your grandmother. I mean, it's just been a lot. She had her son had an accident, and then now followed by this. So just keep Arlie in your prayers. Till dog, life is way too short. Condolences to you too, not on your loss. I appreciate it, man. I'm gonna read a lot of chat today. We're gonna get into some stuff today. We got a messy president out here doing some messy things. So I always say I'm gonna hold him to the fire. I'm gonna keep him accountable for some of these things that he's doing or some of these things he said. I was watching. I wasn't even watching. I had turned the TV on yesterday, and here goes Donald Trump. He's on the screen. So immediately I'm like, this is, and he just started talking. I said, me, this is entertaining. This dude is hilarious. Let me see what he talking about. So after listening what he talking about and doing a little research, I said, yeah, I'm gonna have to bring some of this up on the show. Romero Head, life is very precious, yet very short. You never know. Irv Gotti is on life support from another stroke. No one is immune to the last day. Sad reality about life. That's the truth. That's the truth. A lot of us are going, a lot of people, and I say us, I mean, meaning black people, but not just black people, all humans. A lot of us are just going too early. Like I said, the death of Mr. Leonard it's still a shock to me. I still can't wrap my head around it because there were no signs that this was coming. It's just tragic. And in the case of Arlie's grandmother, when somebody is so full of joy, full of positivity, can make everybody else around them feel special, that's a person that you really just don't want to lose. That's a person, it's not only a loss to Arlie and her family, but it's a loss to humanity and the planet because those people, I believe, they really help the morale of everyone that's around them. So it's definitely um it's just unfortunate. But the most high universe is perfect, I believe. And sometimes he needs his angels to do what they need to do on a higher level than where we are. I believe in energy. I believe that energy doesn't dissipate. So with that, I also believe somewhat in angels. When I lost my little sister some years ago, I felt her presence around me. Even in that loss, even in that hurt, I felt like she was right there guiding me, watching over me, sending blessings my way. And I still feel that way today. I think about my little sister every day. Eh, At some point, I just think about her and think about, what she tried to do for me and how she was the one that mended relationships in the family. It hurt me dearly when I lost my sister because she was always trying to mend that bridge between me and my father. And I was so stubborn and resentful. I didn't want to have nothing to do with him. And because of my resentment for him, I stayed away from her. When they had functions and things like that, she would say, "Come out, y'all can talk and this and that." And I just refused to do it. And when I lost her, I mean, that hurt was unbearable. It was the most hurt I've ever felt. And at that time, I was able to have that conversation with him and mend that fence. And I forgave myself for the anger I held towards him. And I later forgave him and told him we good, man. I'm not mad at you. I'm a grown man now. I obviously, I made it. I gotta give shouts out to my mom because she sacrificed a whole lot to raise two boys. And it wasn't easy. And so I can understand, um, the amount of resiliency it takes from a single mom. But at the same time, I don't harbor any ill feelings towards my father. I mean, they were young when they had me, and life is life, and things happen. So I wish I could have reconciled that relationship while my sister was alive and while she was working to mend that relationship, because being stubborn, I missed out on her life. And a lot of times I think about, if I was there, could I have prevented some of the things that happened that led to her leaving this place way too early, in my opinion. Anyway, let's get to this president of y'all's, Donald Dump, or Donald Trump, should I say. So I turned on the TV like I told you, and he was talking trash. This man talked more trash than Floyd Mayweather. For real. I mean, this man talked heavy trash. And so the first thing I was hearing him talk about was Iran. He was like, if Iran don't end its nuclear program, it's gonna get ugly. It's gonna get real violent. And I guess there's supposed to be, in his mind, some sort of attempt on his life from the Iranian people. And he was letting them know he already got stipulations in place that if something happened to him, if he gets assassinated, Iran is gonna be obliterated. He gonna do some. He got orders to people to go do some real bad stuff. Now, this man is so delusional. First of all, if you just so happen to get knocked off, it's gonna be up to your successor. It's gonna be up to the person who steps in as the president. Would be Vance. Now, Vance might, follow those orders, but it's gonna be up to Vance. Trump don't get to put that in place that says what's gonna happen if he just so happened to get assassinated. You don't get to do that. Now, the thing that really bothered me by what I was hearing yesterday, because Netanyahu visited the White House yesterday, and him and Trump had a meeting, had a discussion, and Trump was talking about taking over the Gaza Strip, having America own that piece of land, go ahead and clear it out, build all kind of resorts, build some sort of Riviera and all these type things, and have it be uh Arlie just text me. I'm gonna read this text in a minute. But having some sort of vacation spot, and the United States would own it. And in order to have this happen, they would have to remove over 1 million Palestinians. These Palestinians would have to go somewhere else and live. They would have to go somewhere else and start their life. Now, Egypt already said they don't want to take these people in. And Saudi Arabia said, ain't no way in hell they gonna take these people in. I just totally disagree with America going over there in Israel, taking over somebody else's land and removing the people that's been there since forever and telling them they have to go live somewhere else. That just don't sit well with me. And Yahoo is sitting there with Trump saying, yeah, I think this is a good idea for America to come over and take over our land and build resorts on it and make this is a money-making excursion and replacing the 1.3 million or so Palestinians that would have to leave their area. Now, don't get me wrong. There are probably about 100 million Americans who would disagree with my stance on this and who would also think that it's a good idea for America to take that land, because if they go over there and take that land and they start building on it, it's going to mean more jobs. There's going to be more money that's going to be put in a lot of people pockets. But I don't look at things from a monetary or an imperialist point of view. I look at the humanity of it. And it's just inhumane for you to go over there, take these people land, and have these people displaced. I mean, you're talking about women, children. Where they gonna go? Now they gotta find. They essentially you're creating over 1 million refugees. If they are forced to go somewhere where they're not wanted, think about the treatment that they're being subject to. I mean, I don't think, and I ain't even got to think. I know that Trump and his constituents aren't even thinking about this because they're not humanitarians. They're not. They're capitalists. And as a capitalist, they really don't give a damn about me, about you, about anything but the bottom line. You know, they talk about Elon Musk and Trump and all these folks talk about trying to increase the deficit, you know, trying to save money and trying to get the deficit, trying to clear up over $2 trillion. Every project, I've been paying attention. Every executive order or every little project that they have in place is always somehow gonna decrease the deficit by $2 trillion. They need to come up with another number. Why is it always $2 trillion? Why can't it be 40 billion this time, 100 trillion this time? I mean, 2 trillion this time, 1 trillion this time. It's always $2 trillion. I just don't understand how that number just keeps popping up. Big Kev 303, what's up? He say, that's what colonizers do. You right. That's what they do. They create chaos, trick everybody to thinking that it's something that is really not, when they really created the chaos, so they can then go in and clean up the chaos and act like they the heroes, acting like they done something special, when really at the end of the day, you just trying to take over so you can put an extra dollar in your pocket. These folks ought to be ashamed of themselves. Typical American behavior. Sound familiar? It's called colonizing. Ask the Native Americans about that. Exactly. Till dog 12. It's really sad. It's really sad. And a lot of people who, you know, they support Trump, they voted for Trump. Would be the majority of the people that voted. They're perfectly on board with this. I just don't understand how they on board with this. Now, you had the Arabian, because Trump, like I told you, he's called it massive pressure that he put on Iran to stop their nuclear powers. Well, the Iranian foreign minister, Abbas Araghchi, says about the maximum pressure, it's a failed experiment, and try it again will only lead to another failure. Man, these people I don't know how to say it. They ain't like everybody over here in America. They ain't like us. They ain't gonna sit back and be comfortable and just accept whatever. No, these folks ready to blow your brains out. These folks strap up and do what they got to do. I just don't see definitely understanding the Crusades. We know about the Crusades. We know that Israel and Palestine, they've been going there over that land for hundreds of years. These people, unless you just totally annihilate them, these people are ready to fight a war for however long you want to fight it. Ty Davidson. Bibi has been trying to wipe the Palestinians off the land since the beginning. Exactly. And they ain't wiped them off yet. They still over there fighting. They still willing to do some gruesome things in order to have freedom. I mean, it's ugly. Now, with that being said, Trump is facing some opposition. A lot of people do a lot of talking, and I don't understand why we do a lot of talking and we ain't really gonna do nothing about it. But this is something that came down the pipe from Good Morning America. I was just seeing earlier today.
Donald Trump is now being targeted by the cyber attackers Anonymous. They've declared, quote, total war on the billionaire and now claim to have hacked him and released some of his private information.
Thank you.
Now is the time to unite to fight fascism, to show that we are very serious about stopping any proposed fourth right by the fascist Donald Trump. We have attached a gift, of sorts, Trump's social security number, cell phone number and other details that might be able to assist you all in independently investigating this would-be dictator.
For more on this, we bring in ABC News senior justice correspondent Pierre Thomas. He's in Washington this morning. Good morning, Pierre.
Good morning, Robin. Donald Trump appears to have a new adversary, not political, but a potentially formidable one, Anonymous, known for its aggressive hacking. In that video, Anonymous claims it has secured some of Donald Trump's personal and private information and is blasting it over the internet, something it hopes will make Mr. Trump's life miserable. Overnight, the Trump campaign released a statement acknowledging the attempt, saying authorities are seeking the arrest of the people responsible for attempting to illegally hack Mr. Trump's accounts and telephone information. So this is being treated seriously, Robin.
Yeah, they better treat it seriously. These people ain't playing with Trump. He got opposition. And these hackers, they very difficult to put your fingers on and find out where they at. Now, Trump supposedly has his own cyber team that is out there looking for information on finding these guys, and if they find them, they're gonna, face the maximum penalty. But again, this just goes to show that when you really upset at somebody and you really want change to happen, you got to be about that action, and these people about that action, and they doing their part to try to send pressure to Donald Trump to let him know that, we ain't having this, player. A lot of this stuff you trying to do, a lot of the federal funding got cut. Him and Elon Musk believe that a lot of these companies, definitely like the I forget the company name, USA ID or some other sort. They do a lot of healthcare and aid to other countries and things like this. And I was listening to it earlier today. They got a $40 billion budget. Now, don't get me wrong. Some of it may be used unethically, should I say. A lot of this is people scratching other people's back. You got people looking out for their homeboys, people looking out for their loved ones, just giving them jobs so they can make a decent salary, while a lot of people out here working very hard to get everything that they have. That is true. And Trump believes that these people are totally being irresponsible with the money, so he cut them off. Now, some of it may be true, but a lot of these people are people that used to go to other countries and help sick children, help soldiers who are facing illnesses in foreign countries, who may be sick. A lot of this money goes toward veterans in the VA program. A lot of this stuff is being cut, and it's just a bad look. Now, don't get me wrong. Just because Trump signed these executive orders, don't make it law. It don't work like that. This is not a dictatorship. It still has to go through the judicial system, and it has to go through the Congress. Just like he tried to do the ban on the birthrights on the birth certificates. If your parents were from another country, then we could reject your birth certificate. Well, a judge already put a block on that. He said, "No, that's just nonsense. We're not doing that. You don't have the right to do that." So that's been blocked. So don't give when these executive orders, if they do come out and they do go through, that's because the judicial system and your Congress members approve of these things as well. So just keep that in mind when we're talking about holding people to the fire. Let's hold everybody to the fire. Don't just look at the right hand and forget and not see what the left hand doing. Let's look at both hands. Let's hold everybody to the fire if they're doing things that we deem unethical. Arle sent me a text and she says her grandmother had 3 sons. She's getting the programs together and flowers and everything. Funeral is Friday. She has lots and lots to do, and she praying it's a good show. Yeah, it's all good, Arle. Just grieve and you know, prayers out to you. Just get back in good spirits. Like I say, this should be a time to celebrate the life of Miss Wilson. And yeah, this is the No Show right here with Arle and Notty. Notty doing a solo thing today, and it's all good. I got the chat with me. I'm gonna read a lot of chat today. We're gonna get into some Black history. It is Black History Month, and a lot of times when we came up in school, they taught us the same thing every Black History Month. They taught us the same thing. They taught us about the same people. It's almost like Black History Month has to be approved by white folk. What we learn, who we learned about, and those type of things. So I'm gonna dive a little bit deeper in the Black History conversation when we get back from this break. Make sure y'all hit that like and that subscribe and that share button. I'm gonna get real deep, and when I give these when we do these need to knows, whether it's breaking down law or the commandments, you know, the constitution of that thing, or whether you just getting the information, I realized that a lot of the audience members that watch the show, I do the analytics. A lot of us are older. We're somewhere between 45 and 65 years old. Use this as an opportunity to share with younger people in your family, younger people who might not have this information, that might need this information going forth, because we need to know the rules, and we need to also know where we come from and who we really are, because they stripped us of so much. And so let's be accountable for who we are and what we do and what we teach to the next generation. Let's not have that separation amongst generations. We need them just like they need us. So let's make sure we bridge that gap. Once again, life is fragile, and we gotta come together as a people and love each other and forgive each other for all the pettiness. So when I get back from the break, we're gonna get into a little bit of Black history right here on the No Show. Peace.
When you know what to do with what you got, you can do more with it. All right. So shouts out to my man Lavrel, as well as the World Changers, making this thing happen and getting it done with your financial needs. All right. The World Changers help empower individuals and communities throughout financial education and implementation. Your agent Lavrel Hawkins has made significant strides in the financial services industry, using his expertise to guide and support others in achieving financial stability as well as success. Lavrel uses an holistic approach that addresses the mental, physical, financial, and spiritual aspects of being in a well space and place when it comes to your finances, all right? Y'all give them a call, 919-764-4626. That's 919-764-4626. The World Changes Financials and Lavrel are dedicated to empowering you and your communities through financial education and implementation. 919-764-4626.
Hey, Boss Man Drew. Shout out to Boss Man Drew, man. All right, yeah, for sure. Let me get into some of this chat. Real quick. I appreciate y'all for holding us down this week. Got a lot of good chat. Got a lot of good chat in here. Let's get to some of this chat. Ty Davidson. If they moved them off the Gaza Strip, they would make a new canal on their land. And you're probably right. Ain't no telling what they gonna do. If they go over there and they saying now that we've removed y'all off this strip, we done cleared everything out, they gonna be able to do whatever they want to do with that land. They saying they own that land over there now. That's why I was surprised that Netanyahu was like, yeah, I agree with that. That's a good idea. It almost reminded me of the Luka trade. When Luka got traded and Nico Harrison is sitting there with Jason Kidd. Jason Kidd not saying that. Nico Harrison like, yeah, and train Luka was a good idea. And I know Jason Kidd down with it. I know he cool with it. I ain't even talked to him about it, but I know what kind of players he like. And Jason Kidd just sitting there, but he didn't disagree. And that's how Netanyahu was like. He didn't disagree, but Netanyahu doubled down. He got on the mic and said, yeah, I totally agree that the United States should come over there and own that land. Didn't think I would hear there like that. Stacey McKissick, they pocket is the bottom line. Yeah, they pocket is the bottom line. They don't give a damn about nothing else. Yeah, man, these folks, I tell you, right? It's just about that dollar, how much they can make. I thought it was just about saving this $2 trillion, but obviously they won't save $2 trillion and make some. Not for the people, because they putting tariffs on everything, but they want to make some for their own self, put in their own pocket, their own people pocket, the people that they fool with. Now, people need to stand on it for voting him. That includes non-voters too. Well, I don't think non-voters really give a damn. I think a lot of non-voters are really, they want everything to go to hell because they see the writings on the wall. It didn't matter. I honestly don't believe it mattered who won the election. It could have been Kamala or it could have been Trump. This thing was all a sinking ship anyway. You know, you can try to plug as many holes up as you can, but you just got too many holes to plug up. And I just don't think either option was a good option. I think that's one way they fooled the American people again by saying these are your choices. Well, you didn't really give me a good choice. You make me pick between rat poison and cyanide. I don't have a good choice. Either way it go, I'm screwed. And some people decided I don't want now one of them. I'll take my chances with whatever y'all pick, and that's just how it went. At some point, we got to get over the people that voted for Trump, the people that didn't vote for Trump, and the people that didn't vote. At the end of the day, we can't be separated by that. We still got to band together. It don't matter what you voted for. Because guess what? You voted for Kamala. That's fine. Where's it getting you now? It's not getting you nowhere. Standing by yourself, at some point, we still got to band together and not allow them to do what they have done so brilliantly, which is divide us. I mean, we're looking at black people are divided on 3 fronts. We ain't even got into being divided against the Latinos, being divided against white Americans against Latinos. I mean, they got everybody divided and angry at each other. And when we really should be centering our anger and our attention on them, we should all really be joining together. So they've done a really good job of separating us and dividing us. Here go Cedric Moore. Man, I thought I was the only one that kept hearing $2 trillion. Right. Every time they talk about something, they talking about $2 trillion we gonna get cut if we get rid of this. Well, we're gonna get another $2 trillion. By the time you keep cutting $2 trillion, we're gonna be up $2 trillion. These folk they don't like Pop say, man. Pop say a lie don't care who tell it. A lie just gonna be a lie. It's Palestinian land, of course, and you trying to move them off their land, and you got some other guy, Netanyahu, saying, "Yeah, I'm okay with you taking these folk land too." Well, this is why you had that situation you had with Hamas. And I know a lot of people, I mean, it was both sides. Some people were on the side of Hamas, some people was on the side of Israel. But this is why they had them, they were killing a lot of Israelis. This is why they was taking these hostages. And a lot of people like they're doing so cruel. They the way they used sort of like guerrilla warfare. The way they was doing it, they were like, this is so cruel, they shouldn't be. But these folks are trying to keep their land. And now you see that it's all dying down. America talking about, yeah, we don't worry about Israel. We gonna come in and take their land. We're gonna build some hotels and a golf course and some casinos over here, and it's gonna be a vacation destination, and we gonna own it. Come on, y'all. Anyway, like I said, we're gonna get into some Black history right here on the No Show. Gotta man this thing up today. You know, gotta keep it solid. And this segment is what we need to know. Arle used to do a song. That's my Arle impersonation. Arle used to do a song right there, but I did that for Arle. This Black history is dedicated to when we were kings and queens. So shout out to the real Lion King, Sundiata Keita.
Think you know the real Lion King? The story of Sundiata Keita is more legendary than you could imagine. As a child, Sundiata couldn't walk and was mocked for his weakness, but his determination changed everything. He not only learned to walk, but became a fearless warrior. In the 13th century, Sundiata built the Mali Empire, controlling the gold trade and uniting diverse peoples under one of the wealthiest empires in history. He cemented his legacy at the Battle of Kirina, defeating the tyrant Sumanguru Kante, a victory that secured his place as the Lion King. Sundiata wasn't just a warrior, he was a visionary. He created the Mandan Charter, one of the world's earliest human rights declarations, promoting justice and unity.
The Lion King, that's history. That was over in the Kingdom of Mali. Like you said, they ran the gold transport. Now, this is the great uncle of Mansa Musa. Mansa meaning king of Mali. Shout out to Amanda Miller, too. She helped contribute to the show today. She sent me that little clip on Donald Trump earlier with the Anonymous. I meant to shout her out in the first segment. But the Lion King, and one of the most important things they talked about in that little video that I just showed was the Mandan Charter. Now, the Mandan Charter is the first ever human rights charter. This predates the Magna Carta. I remember being in school, they taught us Magna Carta and like the Constitution comes from this, and these were the laws. Well, the Magna Carta picked a lot of its information and its structure from the Mandan Charter, which was done by Sundiata Keita. We were the first ones to actually have a charter in the world of civilization. The Mandan Charter, aka the Kurikan Fuga, is now listed by UNESCO as one of the intangible cultural heritage. UNESCO is the United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization. Now, I would encourage everybody to do a little bit more research when it comes to the Mandan Charter and Sundiata Keita. I only can give you so much information because I only got so much time to do a show. But and it's extensive, it's a lot. But it was the Constitution of the Mali Empire created after the Battle of Krina, and this is in 1235, by an assembly of nobles to create a government for a newly established empire. This is according to the epic of Sundiata. Now, it was divided, the new empire, into ruling clans that were represented at a great assembly called Jabara. There were 16 clans known as the Quiver Carriers. They were responsible for leading and defending the empire. Then you had 4 other clans known as the Guardians of Faith, who guided ruling clans in the matter of Islamic law. There were 4 clans, the people of caste, who had a monopoly on certain trades, which included, but were not limited to, smelting, woodworking, tanners, your blacksmiths, things of that nature. Lastly, there were 4 clans of master of speech who recorded the history of the empire through song, because a lot of this was oral history. It wasn't even written down. It was oral history. Then you had the 29th and 30th seat was by the master of ceremonies, and some have been reserved for female monitors, since the Constitution of the Magna Carta states that women are to be represented at all levels of government. That was in the 16th edict. Now, there were 44 articles of the Mandan Charter, 44 different articles. You even had Article 30, which covered divorce laws and things of that nature. But I'm not going to go over all 44 of the laws, but I'm going to go over some that are very interesting and some things that we should understand that we put in place. We are the creators of real civilization. When you got to have all these different tribes and you have all these different nations, because Sundiata and the Mali Empire, it was an empire that ruled over several kingdoms, which were like states. It's like a country and then you like states. So you had to have sort of a constitution. Article 5, everybody has a right to life, to the preservation of physical integrity. Accordingly, any attempt to deprive one's fellow being of life is punished with death. Article number 9, children's education behooves the entire society. The paternal authority and consequence falls to everyone. Everyone is responsible for the children. That's the same thing as it takes a village. Just because it's not your child doesn't mean that you're not responsible for that child development and education and growing up. Article 14, never offend women, our mothers. Article 16, women, apart from their everyday occupations, should be associated with all of our managements. There was always a woman that was going to be on the seat of what we would say the Congress. You would have the House. You would have judges. It wasn't dominated solely by men. Number 20, do not ill-treat the slaves. We are the master of the slave, but not the bag that they carry. There were a lot of people don't understand that the way that the United States did slavery was cruel and had never been seen on this planet before or since. Slaves, they had a day off. They also worked reasonable hours. They worked like a 9 to 5. It was like a job. They weren't treated cruel. They weren't getting whipped. They weren't being disbanded from their families, because when it says we are the masters of the slave, but not the bag that they carry, these slaves had a lot of responsibilities. They're the ones that tended the land. They're the ones that watched over a lot of the children, the master's children. So you didn't want them to be stressed out and be treated cruelly. You want to treat them humanely. So, I mean, it's just a lot. I mean, vanity is the sign of weakness and humility the sign of greatness. These are just some of the, never betray one another, respect your word of honor. Just laws of humanity. There were 44 of them. Like I say, continue to do some research on the Mandan Charter, understand that this is real Black history that I'm talking to you about. This is not stuff that they were going to teach us in school or anything like that. These are things they don't necessarily want us to know. And we already know, like I said, he's the great uncle of Mansa Musa, and Mansa Musa became the wealthiest man to ever live. This is the heritage that we come from as Black people. So let's just keep that in mind. And that's just what I want the lesson I want to shoot out for Black history. And I'm gonna do some more tomorrow on the Funky Four with the Stews. I'm gonna have at least one thing that I do for Black History just so that we can understand our greatness and make sure that we pass that down to the young ones so they can understand where they come from. You come from good stuff. Your history didn't start as a slave right here in America. We were free people in America. Not everybody even came on the ships. We were already here free, tending to the land, loving each other, sticking together. Way before that, hell, we were helping them survive when they came over as pilgrims. And what we got to understand about these pilgrims, these were the outcasts of England. These are the people that England didn't want no more. These were the heretics of the church. These were your molesters. These were your were your rapists. These were your criminals. Y'all can go over there and see if y'all can find somewhere else to live, but get away from here. That's the history of them people that came over here. These weren't noble people that came over to America and decided to settle. So when you think about who their ancestors were that's right here in this country, you think about where they come from. Man, we come from way better stuff. We come from good stock. We got to understand that. We just got to make sure that we continue to teach the youth this truth because they're not going to teach us the truth. We got to do our own homework. We got to teach ourselves the truth. Let's get into a little bit of this chat. I got to come down a little bit so I can catch up. I like Ron Lee. What's up, Ron Lee? I ain't holler at Ron Lee in the mouth. I don't believe would have done anything intentionally to harm Americans like Trump is doing. I have to disagree with you on that, Ron. Based off just the last regime of the Biden administration. The last administration, they overplayed their hand for one, but for two, they were doing a lot of things that I just believe went against humanity. When you talk about the transgender issue, when you talk about having children, little boys turning to little girls, that's a problem with me. That goes against everything that I believe as far as humanitarianism goes. I also, and I know it's a subject that a lot of people like to stay away from, but the abortion issue, I don't necessarily agree with just one particular gender having the right to decide if a baby is killed or not. Now, really, when you talk about Roe versus Wade, they're not really arguing about that because they care about black people and black babies. That's not the issue. The issue is about white people and white babies. They losing numbers, and they don't want to lose numbers. They want as many white babies to be born as they possibly can, because globally they're the minority, but right here on this country right here, they're the majority, and those numbers were starting to dwindle down. So Roe versus Wade really didn't have much to do with black women, black families in general. It's kind of like we lumped ourselves in on it because at the end of the day, women are women regardless of what race or ethnicity they are. And when you live in this country, you are subject to the same laws. So it's a very sketchy thing. I just think that both regimes, hell, we're going to be in debt, trillions of dollars, regardless who's going to be in office. I just think it was a lose-lose situation. I don't think no side. We definitely lost. If you ingrained into the fabric of America, you are a loser. I'm sorry to have to tell you that. I'm not really ingrained into the fabric of America. I already can see. I've been living my whole life here. It's always been the same. I mean, they put W in office twice. W is the worst, one of the worst people that could ever roam the planet. I mean, 9/11 happened under his watch. And if you believe that 2 planes brought down 3 buildings, then I believe you're severely naive and anything could be pulled over your eyes. So let's understand who we're dealing with. Sidney Action Jackson, I agree with that. I don't think Biden and Harris are good people. No. They just they all on the same team. They friends. They laugh together. We saw Obama and Donald Trump having the laugh of their life at Jimmy Carter funeral. I'm sorry, y'all. I can't recall a time where I sat next to somebody who I don't like, who I dislike, and we yucking it up. Yuck, 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 yuck. I can't ever I can't recall a time where that's ever happened. Another one from Sidney Action Jackson. Facts now that them pilgrims were criminal rapists and murderers. Yeah, and these are the people that run the country. These are the same people that, for whatever reason, we always give too much credit to, talking about how they intelligent, how they smart, how they we hold them to such high standards for running the country. How? Not understanding who they are and what they're trying to preserve. See, I understand that a lot of these people, they erased our history, they erased our religion, they erased our language. And so a lot of times we have trouble finding out who we are, but they know exactly who they are. They know exactly where they come from. They know exactly why they treat us the way they treat us. And they know exactly what history they're trying to preserve. And that's what we got to understand. We got to get on the ball. But it starts with understanding who we are, where we come from, and also understanding how to love this planet, how to love ourselves, and how to love your neighbor. Craig, Uncle Mike Pryor, this dude always got some to say going against me, but I'm objective. I read it. But transgender issues don't affect you personally unless your daughter is a boxer. I disagree with you, Craig, Uncle Mike Pryor, because the things that affect this planet affects me. And I believe people have one or two purposes on the planet. You either here to destroy the planet or you here to sustain life on the planet. And I'm a person my whole purpose is to sustain life on the planet. And the transgender issue, it goes against sustaining life on the planet. It only leads to the destruction of the planet or the ending of life on the planet. I mean, there's research that's been done that shows that the male sperm count is dropping by 1.5% every year. Okay, now you couple that with women not wanting to have babies. At some point, if a man can't produce the children and the women don't want to have the children, we're gonna become extinct. We ain't gonna be here no more. That's affecting the planet. So when you say this stuff doesn't affect me, it does, because my main priority is to take care of the planet first. That's just everything. Everything is to love the planet, love yourself, and love thy neighbor as you would love yourself. So, I just on that front, I just have to disagree with that statement. But I respect where you're coming from. A lot of times we look at everything on the surface, but sometimes we just got to dive a little bit deeper, just a little bit deeper. I'm gonna play this game with y'all today. I wish Arle was here, because this would have been fun today to play with her. But I'm gonna read y'all chat, and hopefully y'all chime in with me today on the newly branded show from the No Show called Shout out to Arle with the vocals. Y'all help me out. Here go the first one. What you say? I can't blank these blanks. I can't blank these blanks. Mine was because I know y'all in the chat, y'all tend to be vulgar sometimes. I try to stay away from vulgarity if I can. Mine is I can't watch these fools. And that could go on so many different fronts. Whether you're talking about the NBA You get a trade with Luka, and you get a trade with AD, and then you try to watch the games that they teams play the next night, and ain't now one of them playing. Man, I can't watch these fools. You look at what's going on with Elon Musk and Trump and Netanyahu and all these folks, and after a certain while, I'm like, you know what? I can't watch these fools. Mocha Bella, I like it. I like it, Mocha. I can't stand these Republicans. I feel you. I feel you, Mocha. That's a good one. I can't stand these Republicans. I can't stand none of these folks in Congress. Honestly, because I just know, I just get it. It don't matter. Since I've been alive, we've had Democrats, we've had Republicans, and ain't none of them been good. Ain't none of them been good. Romero Head, I can't believe these facts. Hold on, Romero, I don't understand that. A fact is a fact. You can't even debate a fact. You can't deny a fact. The truth is the truth. So, the facts is the facts. Let me read FM say, I'm finding out nothing. I know he's evil. Of course, they all evil. The DNC keep losing because they have the same talking points. MAGA bad. We're not as bad. Vote for us. I don't know. I disagree. I can't talk these fools. I can't talk to these fools, or we'll say talk to these fools for FM. Sidney Jackson, I can't understand these fools. Those are all good. All right, here's my next one. What you say? I had blank laid in my blank. Pause. And there's a pause behind this because chances are there's going to need to be a pause out of this. I had blank laid in my blank. Pause. Now, mine was I had pipe laid in my yard. Pause. That's mine. I had pipe laid in my yard. Pause. Romero, what you wanted me to dispute? I see you in the chat. But yeah, I had blank laid in my blank. See what y'all got in the chat. Let me read some of this chat. Y'all forgotten Biden and Harris were responsible for the unlawful incarceration of thousands of black men and the women for the most minuscule crimes. That is true. And what was it called? The Article 94 joint that Biden passed. I mean, hell, we ain't even got to talk about what Clinton did. How many black folk they locked up. I mean, Hillary. We ain't even got to go there. When they just talk about our people. I had grass laid in my yard. Pause. That come from Stacy. That's a good one. That's I don't even think that one needed a pause. I had grass laid in my yard. I had cream laid in my corn. Oh, that's definitely a pause right there, Sydney. I had cream laid in my corn. Pause. Hilarious. Let's go to this next one. You can't judge a blank by its blank. Now, this one seems like it's a obvious 2-word. You can't judge a blank by its blank. That's a good one. I can't. Let me come up with 2. Let me see what y'all got in the chat. You can't judge a blank by its blank. Adrian Williams, that's the obvious. You can't judge a book by its cover. Oh, Stacy, that's a good one. You can't judge a man by his job. FM. You can't judge a hoe by its bust down. I don't know. I might disagree with you on that one, FM. You know, right? I'm right on par with you. We see things a lot similar, but I don't know. I might can judge a hoe by a bust down. I don't know. Cedric Moore, you can't judge an apple by its tree. That might be true. That might be true. You can't judge a man by his baby mamas. Oh, that's tough one right there, Sydney. Because I remember when my mama, I'm a story time with Notty. I was younger, and I got mad at my first baby mama, and I was at my mama's house, and I was telling her, I said, "Mama, this girl's so stupid. She just dumb." And my mama said, "Well, if she dumb, then you dumb for being with her." And I was like, "Damn!" I was like, "That's some real stuff right there." I had to stop. I stopped talking to her because my mama told me that. I said I can't be dumb. I gotta let her go. And it was words that I had to live by after that. She was right. Mocha, you can't judge a meal by its taste. I don't know, Mocha. I think that's the whole. I mean, now you could have a healthy meal that doesn't taste good, but it did good for you. So from that aspect, I'm gonna agree with you. Mero, you can't judge a dog by its owner. All right. I'm gonna say you can't judge a house by its bricks. That's what I'm gonna go with. Teal Dog 12, you can't judge a stand by its 304s. You can't judge a stand, and I think 304s mean hoes, so I'm gonna say it. You can't judge a stand by its hoes. Maybe you're right. I don't know exactly what that means, but I think you might got some. You might got some. Here go the next one. I don't eat blank because it tastes like blank. I don't eat blank because it tastes like blank. I'm gonna tell y'all mine's first while I'm waiting for y'all to get y'all's in there. I don't eat fish because it tastes like pussy. I don't eat fish because it tastes like badussy. FM. I don't eat pork rinds because it tastes like styrofoam. Yeah, I would agree with that. Sydney Action Jackson. I don't eat chitlin because it tastes like shit. I don't know what shit tastes like. So if you say that's what chitlins taste like, I used to eat chitlins. I used to eat plenty of chitlins back in the day. Grandma used to put those things in the sink, clean them things up real good, cook them things. You throw a little hot sauce on them, you cut them up real small, and man, shoot, I used to tear some chitlins up. Wow, FM Wild Night. How you know fish? How you know fish tastes like? I used to eat fish. I used to eat all the fish, FM, if you know what I mean. I done ate all the fish before. I got one more. I got one more on what you say. These blanks are blank. These blanks are blank, or it don't have to be blanks, but these blank are blank. These blank are blank. I'm just gonna say these folks are foul. Want to go over there and take these folk land and have them totally removed from the land. These folks are foul. Sydney Action Jackson, you don't on par with what I'm saying. These crackers are crazy. What these folk done lost their mind. Stacey, should I say Stacey McKenzie? These MAGAs are asses. I can't disagree with you on that. I cannot disagree with you. Mocha, these Republicans are idiots. I can't disagree with you on that. Once again, you're correct. You're correct. I can't disagree with you on that. If y'all got any questions, we're gonna wrap this thing up on the no show today. I done had fun with y'all. Y'all are hilarious in this chat. Craig, you move fast on me. Oh yeah, Craig took your answer on that last one, Romero, with the chitlins thing. It's amazing that y'all both thought a lot. Agent William, these kids are wild. Yeah, these kids are, man, these kids are almost out of control. But you know, when the parents let them do what they want to do, and I came up, shoot, man, an ass whooping does a body good. Definitely keep you in line. I tell you that. I had my fair share. I probably had a little bit more than my fair share, but these shields are fools. I don't even know what shields are. FM, you're gonna have to explain that to me. What are shields? But let's get into it. We're gonna close it up. Got out there, y'all want to ask me any question? It can be something related to the show. It don't have to be pertaining to the show. It could be about whatever. I'm gonna answer those questions. Again, I know I teased on Monday that I was gonna talk to y'all about what happened that day I had got raped. And I did have every intention of talking about that on the show today, but I just think that would be something that Arle would like to be a part of, the conversation she would like to be a part of. So I'm going to save that until next Wednesday. I am going to talk about the time that this girl raped me when I was in college. I'm gonna give you the whole story, the what predated the situation, and then what happened after the situation, because it's almost unbelievable. You know, I almost got kicked out of school because of what happened on that in that whole series of events. Shields are people who argue for either of the two political parties. Okay, that's a new word for me. I'm gonna write that down. Shields. Yes, wait for Arle. Women don't rape. I have to disagree, because I wasn't the only one. Ryan Stewart also got on and said he had an experience where he was raped as well. So it can happen. You know, a woman can rape a man. Maybe it's done differently, you know, but it can still happen. And definitely, if we're talking about statutory, if we're talking about a 30-year-old woman who messes with a 12 or 13-year-old boy, so it can definitely happen. I guess it all depends on your definition of rape. Mocha, so Nada, are you really running for president in 2028? If I'm not ready, once again, and I've said this before, if I'm not ready by 2028, I definitely plan on being ready by 2032. I'm actually going to, come February 22nd, I'm going to a convention, a political convention, and it is ran by the GOP, but I was invited, and I'm going to just observe, see what's going on, and gain some sort of experience. You know, I've never done it, so I want to go and see what it's about, gain some sort of experience. Maybe I can rub elbows with other people who are somewhat into politics, because I was talking to one of my clients who was a very intelligent man who was over the school board in DeKalb County for a lot of years, was a teacher, administrator, a religious person. He got a book out. Matter of fact, I want to have him on so he can talk about his book. He got CDs out. He's a very articulate person. and we were talking about politics one day, and he was telling me just how difficult it is to actually run for office and things of that nature. So I kind of understand that if I'm going to be prepared by 2028 to 2032, I have to know what I'm getting into, and I have to know what to expect, and I have to know the proper avenues that I must go in order to make this happen. So I'm gonna get as much experience as possible, and that's starting now. Like I said, February 22nd, I plan on attending the meeting and just talking to people, asking questions, and starting my trail. Even if I have to run for some smaller local office first, really to get some experience and get my feet wet, then that's what I got to do. Um, Stacey McKenzie, you know better. Ain't nobody gonna brainwash me. If anything, I go in there and I turn the whole place upside down. They be like, "Damn, I ain't no." But like I said, I'm not going to join any organization. I'm going merely as an observer, to talk to different people, just to see how this whole process works. And it'll be good if I can go to a GOP and then go for, I don't know if they call it the DOP, but to see how both sides operate. And because even when I run for president, I don't plan on running as a Democrat or Republican. I'm running independent. And that's just how it's going to be. Mocha, why the Two Live Stews experience is not at the Super Bowl in NOLA? That's a good question. I believe that next year the goal is to have two live stews at the Super Bowl, just like they used to be when they used to do Radio Row and things of that nature. I just think that with the comeback and the gradual rising that we're doing to gain more listeners and viewers and sponsorships and to be in the right rooms, I think by next year the stews should definitely be ready to be on Radio Row wherever the Super Bowl is played at. And yeah, I believe so. So I just give it time. Just be patient. We still moving. We still grinding. We building up the platform, so to say, building up the talent, bringing Joe Hamilton in. Got a very special guest coming in on Friday. Well, we'll have a pop-up on Friday from 12 to 2. You heard it here first. I'm breaking the news right now. Very special guest coming on. We got a lot of guests about to get ready to come on. I'm talking about names that everyone would know from the sporting world, from coaches to analysts to players. So everything is gradually moving forward, and basically have to shout y'all out, the loyal listeners and watchers of these programs, because without y'all, will none of this be happening. I appreciate y'all for standing here with me today on the No Show with Arle Notty. Arle, again, she's out due to the passing of her grandmother. So we want to make sure we send our prayers and our condolences out to Arle, and she'll be back next week. And we're going to get into the rape controversy. We're going to get into a lot of things, and I'm pretty sure she'll break down some of the things that, her grandmother meant to her. Also, we'll have another Black History moment where we'll talk about things that they haven't approved of. They haven't taught us in school, but things we need to know when it comes to our history, when it comes to our culture. Man, it's been so fun with y'all. I went over an hour. That hour went by too fast. I had to sit in here a little bit longer, read some chat, get in here with y'all. You want to know where can we send flowers? I'll reach out to Arle today. I did speak with her earlier today, and like I said, she texted me right when the show had started. I'll reach out to Arle and see, because I thought about the same thing too. Should I send her flowers, or should I just send her money and have her get the flowers? I'll talk to Arle and see what's best. Should we send flowers, or can we send flowers, or should I just send her a donation and maybe the family go pick up the flowers and just know that it came from Stu's Nation. So by tomorrow on the Two Live Stew show, during the Funky Four at least, I have information on where we can send flowers or where we can send our donations to Arle if we want her to get flowers on behalf of the Stew Nation. So I appreciate that. Craig, Uncle Mike, why does the light keep going off? You know what, Craig, Uncle Mike, I've been wondering that same thing. I'm like, why the light keep going off? I think I got to put another plug on here, man, because it got one of them. You know, you put one of them boxes. You got the US because it's the light got a USB, but you put it in the plug, and it's the white box. And I don't think the white box want to work right with the black plug. So I got some controversy going on with this light, but I'm gonna get this light figured out real soon because I have to keep pushing this button and get the light on. And then when I edit these videos, I gotta do a lot of editing to bring the light so the light can be right. So I appreciate you. That's a good question. Mocha. Now, why you keep wearing your sunglasses every show? Because I started doing early on for the shows, and I just decided that I would just make that my thing that I do, to wear the sunglasses. Also, and don't get me wrong, today, like I said, over the past few days, it's really been tough. And sometimes I like to hide my eyes, but even if things haven't been tough, I still would have wore sunglasses because that's just what I do on these shows. I wear these sunglasses. So, but anyway, I appreciate y'all for sticking with me tonight, pushing through with me tonight. I needed y'all, and I really appreciate it. Make sure y'all hit that like, that subscribe, and that share button. And until next week. I gotta produce the show and host the show and do it all. So I gotta find my graphics that I'm going out on. But anyway. Oh, thank you, Stacy, because they look good. They do look good. These are Ray-Bans. They ain't no cheap glasses either. Glasses cost me a couple $100. I mean, now they ain't in what Cam and Mace got. They cost $40,000. I probably won't never have no $40,000 shades, even if I had $40,000. But my daughter actually picked these out. We was in the mall one day, and she said, "Dad, why don't you get you some nice shades?" And I said, "Well, I might can get some." I looked at them. I said, "Man, these shades cost a lot." She said, "Dad," she said, "they look real good on you. Why don't you go ahead and get them shades?" And I said, "You know what? Since she picked them out and she want me to have them, I get these shades." So, shout out to my daughter for picking these shades out with me by spending time with her father. Once again, this has been a No Show with Arle and Notty. Prayers out to Arle. Until next week, until tomorrow, I'll see y'all for the Funky Four. Until next week, I'm gonna holler at y'all. Peace. I appreciate y'all. Love y'all for real. Thank you.